started, okay? The topic we're going to talk about is learning how to be happily married. And if you're happily married, how to remain happy, okay? So this is not just for married couples, okay? Just for the purpose of this session. It's for you who are in a relationship, okay? And you have seen successful people and they're happy. But after a while, it's people, and this is what people say, well, the honeymoon is over. The honeymoon does not have to be over, okay? One of the reasons I'm so excited about this topic is because it's the beginning of the year. And I'm one of these people that I want to hear from God. I want to be led by God, okay? And so one of the things that I live it with every day of my life is being able to hear, okay? And what happens once you understand that I need to hear from God, then you also give yourself permission to, guess what? Press restart. It could be reset for you. And so think about where you are. Think about 2024. And I just want you to think about, first of all, as an individual, what do you want to change and not bring into 2025? And this is important because, first of all, you need to know that as an individual. I know for me, I definitely press restart because I do not want to stay stagnant. I do not want to do the same thing last year, getting the same results and not change. Is there anybody out there that you are tired of 2024? You can't wait. Yes, it's 2025, but you have not pressed reset. And you're seeing some of your same habits in 2025. Anybody out there?
I would say I definitely feel that way when it comes to my workout routine, for sure. It's time for a reset.
Yes, because you gained that weight during the holidays, okay? And you knew you were going to put on some weight because you got people in your family that they put their whole foot, they put everything in their food. We have some good people in our family that can cook. And I know you're out there, you have some family that for Thanksgiving and Christmas, y'all knock it out the park. And so it's important to press restart. Okay, Thanksgiving over, Christmas over. What's my reason now? So in press and reset, I sit down, you have to spend some time by yourself. Now you may be asking yourself, what in the world does this have to do with me being happy in my coupleship? I'm going to tell you, because it starts with you. Get excited about the fact that right now, today, you can press restart. And in press and restart, spend some time with yourself and say, you know what? I need to evaluate myself. I need to look at some of the things that I am saying is important to me. And I need to figure out, are my decisions supporting what I'm saying is important? Okay? But I need to spend that time with myself so that I am aware. It's very difficult for you to be in a relationship and you're not okay, but you're not able to communicate your feelings and your thoughts to your partner. And you're wondering, why am I not happy? I used to be happy. Let me tell you a little bit of something, okay? And I can say this because I'm old and gray and have made a lot of mistakes, okay? You have to be able to, first of all, communicate to your partner your needs, your desires, because otherwise, guess what your partner's doing? They're just shooting in the dust because they have no idea. And you're wondering why they're not able to take care of your needs because you're not able to verbalize. So when you're talking about, I remember when we were together and we were happy, and we don't appear to be as happy, but then I see other couples, they're still happy and they've been together as long as I have been. Why am I not happy? It starts with being able to communicate. One of the things I love about Atlanta Couple Therapy, we have people that's in Atlanta Couple Therapy. They're coaching, they're providing therapy, they're counseling, and they are experts. One of the experts is Kenyatta. If you ever sit in and have any opportunity to sit in one of her sessions, please, please, please do. Because one of the things she does is she does a webinar on communication. One of the things I love about that, and you say, you're getting off the point. No, I'm getting in the point. The point is, we got to first learn how to communicate. Okay? And so, if I want to be happy 10 years down the road, like I was happy in the beginning of my relationship, do you remember? And some of you may not, but I come way back. And when you started a relationship, you stayed on the phone all day and night. Do you remember those times where you were on the phone, you didn't get sleep the next day that night, and you were tired when you went to work because all you want to do is talk to your partner. You want to talk to your partner, and guess what now? You're wondering why the relationship is not there, but you're not talking. Don't even go to communicating, because that's the next level after talking. Okay. And we did a good job expressing ourselves. We were so impressive in our communication. We got to know each other. We enjoyed each other. We couldn't wait to get together. If your relationship started off where you were really, really happy with each other, you were communicating openly, because sometimes in the very beginning, we don't have the fear that if I'm truthful with my partner, I'm going to lose it. But once you fall in love and feelings get involved, we're less likely to be open and honest. How many people can identify with what I'm saying? That in the beginning of your relationship, you stayed on the phone.
I definitely understand where you're going with this, Mrs. Moore. So my question is, let's paint the picture to them tonight of how this happened, how they got away from communicating, so that they know that this message is for them. Because a lot of times we'll hear a message and we'll think, that's not me, that's not for me. So can we paint a picture for them tonight to let them know that, yes, this may be you?
Yes, so you certainly can. Because part of the communication is that you like each other. Do you remember a time that you actually liked each other? You could finish each other's sentences. In that very beginning, because you were so open with each other and you talked about things together, then you could finish each other's sentences. You laughed at jokes. You remember when you would laugh at the corniest jokes and you would get the jokes. Okay. Now you don't even get the jokes because your communication is not lining up like it did in the beginning of your relationship. Things change for a reason. They don't just change. They change because you're doing something different. And so if you want your relationship to remain where you're happy and you're joyful, then you got to get back together. You got to spend time. Miss Jones, she asked a question. She said, let's paint the picture. Why does it change? Let me tell you why it changes. Because when we first got together, guess what? We didn't have little Bobby, little Sally. We just had each other. Okay? We had a play job. Now we're in a career. We have what? Demands. Guess what we have? Responsibilities. Okay? And so in pouring into that relationship, we're telling ourselves what? We don't have the time. I got to make sure I get little Bobby to class. He's taking classes. Okay. He's in the band. He got an instrument he playing. All of these things are more important than what? Our relationship. When does it change? When you begin to tell yourself that the most important thing that I can do for my family is to put my child in every activity. If something open up, he or she is going. But guess what? Your children want and your partner want. They want to see a healthy relationship. That healthy relationship, and I'm not telling you do not put your kid, but you have a capacity. Okay? Your number one goal, if you want to be happy, and I don't always like to use the word happy, I like to use joy, because to me, happy is about something that happens to you. And so because something happened to you, you think you have the right to react to it. No, 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 no. You probably need to see Brenda because she can tell you some truths that may be a little bit different than your truths. And one of the most important things in a relationship is to continue to feed it. Yes, you got Bobby. Yes, you got Sally. But more importantly than Bobby and Sally is your relationship. Because if you work together, guess what it does? It frees up your time. I don't like making a bed, okay? I just don't like it, okay? I know a bed have to be made up, but it feels a whole lot better when me and my husband are making up the bed together, okay? So we need to figure out a way to enjoy each other like we did in the very, very beginning. And so if you want that happy relationship, if you want to have a joyful relationship, then number one, whatever you feed, okay, that's what's going to grow. And so you have to till that soil. You have to sit down and say, okay, me and your relationship come first. Because when we're in order, the whole house is in order. Let me say that again. When me and you are on the same page, we speak in the same language, our goals are the same, okay, then it lessens what we have to pour into the relationship. So you're not as tired. If we're out there working together, if we clean in the kitchen together, if why I'm cooking, because you did that in the beginning. In the beginning of your relationship, you did everything together. You even went and visited people together. You went to his parents. You went to your parents. You went to you did things. Now guess what you do? You're so tired and you're telling yourself, I don't have time. And so because of that, the joy is gone.
Ms. Moore, one of the things you spoke about Miss Kenyatta Wheeler and her communication skills. One of the things that I'm concerned about is, okay, fast forward, we've been married 10 years. At first, I had 2 balls that I was toggling in the air. Now I have 10 balls. Let's talk about the importance of communication so we have the capacity to toggle the 10 balls and the communication that allows us to work as a team to get to our place of happiness.
I'm so glad you asked that question because it's so easy. I had the opportunity to watch the funeral of Jimmy Carter, okay? It blew my mind. I don't know, did it impact anybody else, but it blew my mind because they constantly talked about his relationship with his wife, meaning that after 77 years, now I'm old, I ain't even 77 years old, but after 77 years of marriage, they still loved each other. They still participated in each other's lives. One of the things that happened out of that relationship is they didn't have 10 balls. Okay? We think we need 10 balls. We think if we don't get our child in that special school, if we don't get him in this club, if we don't do this or this with them, then the world is going to end. Let me tell you, the best thing in the world that you can give your children is teach them responsibility, teach them how to love, teach them how to be responsive to adults and have relationships and figure out when they have an issue, how to resolve it. Come on.
Wow. That's powerful.
This is not a children issue. This is an adult issue too. Because we didn't learn how to resolve issues as a child. Now we in this marriage and we're wondering why we feel like we're apart. It's because we're still holding on to an argument that we had 5 years ago. And so in order to have a relationship, we got to come together and we got to make an intentional, a conscious decision of how many balls we gonna have in this relationship. And that means I may want 5 children, but I don't have the capacity for 5 children, and I don't have the money for 5 children. So let's make it clear. Because one of them balls, or 2 of them balls, out them 10 balls, you created. Because you had control to create those balls that you're trying to bounce, you have the ability, guess what? To take some of the balls out the game. How many of you realize that you have so many activities, so many responsibilities that you really don't have time for your partner? I'm not going to tell you to put a 1 in there because I'm not going to let you, you don't have to tell on these yourself.
I'm just going to jump in real quick, Ms. Moore, because I like what you're saying. I love that analogy of the 10 balls. I think that one thing I've seen a lot of times with couples, especially when they have kids, is they have managed with just them, as you were talking about, you know, in your beginning of your relationship. It's just you and her, and or him and you are happy, you're ecstatic. So now you add to that, you add a baby, right? And I love the way you said at one point it was a job and now it's a career, you know. And then as we add, we continue to add without perfecting the stage that we're at. You know, it's very difficult when you're adding something and you haven't perfected what you're doing yet.
Wait, I want everybody to hear that. Say that again.
It's very difficult to add to when you haven't perfected what you're doing, you know. And I think that just one tip that I would shoot out there for our couples that may be juggling 10 balls is put some of those balls down and perfect the core of what's important to you, your home and your kids. That's where you begin to make your impact. So I just love what you said. That just really resonated with me because a lot of times people don't realize how much they're juggling because they're running to help and save everybody else instead of working on their own relationship. So way to go. This is awesome. Awesome. If you have not shared, if you are watching us live, you need to be sharing this video because if they don't catch it now, they can catch it later. But this is some powerful information that Mrs. Moore is giving to you guys, and it's for the free. So if you have not been diligent about getting this message out, I encourage you to do so. We are almost about to close out, but I know she has some more points. So don't let someone miss this. This is important stuff. Great job. I appreciate it.
Preach, Miss Moore, preach.
Yeah, so the other thing that I find interesting, and just because I'm a little off-centered in the way that I look at life, I'm going to ask a question, okay? Does loving your partner require you to like your partner? Can I love my partner, but not like my partner? If you believe that love requires you to like your partner, put a 1. If you believe from your own experience that you can love your partner, but do not like your partner,
I'm going to say you don't have to like your partner just because there are going to be some times when y'all get on each other's nerves. And in those moments, you're going to probably not feel that same bubbly, giggly like feeling that you maybe felt in the beginning. And you got to be able to push through regardless of your feelings.
okay? Anyone else?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
What that tells me is there's got to be a level of commitment to my relationship, commitment to my family. It's so easy for the man, the woman to punk out and come up with excuses on why they can't put the best foot forward. And I'm challenging everybody to hear my voice, to understand how important it is to push forward, because this too shall pass.
So I'm going to bust some bubbles. I love busting bubbles and putting holes in things. Ask yourself, if you work around people, whether or not you like the people on your job and you enjoy them better than you enjoy your partner. Because I want you to understand, liking people, which doesn't logically make sense, make you treat people better. Now you're going to argue with me because God says in his word, love is the principal thing. But guess what? And it also details what love is. But guess what? We walking in Brenda love, Sally love. We're not walking in God's love. So as a result of us not walking in God's love and how he defines love, then we don't like our partner. Okay? It's very difficult to show love and walk in love if you don't like your partner. So we have to put the effort and the work in to be likable. Let me say it again. We so trying to get to love, we ain't got to like. We done got a demotion. We start off in love and we way up here. Can y'all see my hand? You in love, but you ain't in like. Because you want to spend your time with people you like. I used to work, in one of my jobs as a counselor at one point in my life was to help people, disabled people, get jobs, okay? And I came upon a person and they had a disability. And of course, we all know people with disabilities, they have difficulty getting jobs because people want to hire people without disabilities. I'm not going to get into that. However, I had a client and one of my clients was not likable. How many of you, and I want you to raise your hand on this one, how many of you want to pay somebody to be around you because you hired them and they're not likable? Put your hand up. I don't see no hands because I know some of you out there. People do not want to be around people that's not likable. You can't hold no job if you're not likable. People rather be around somebody that can't do the job, but they likable. But it's challenging, even in God setting, to be around somebody that's not likable. And I want each one of you that's here listening to me, I want you to ask one question of yourself. Are you likable? Do people want to be around you? If just your friends want to be around you, not your children, not your partner, they're seeing two different people. So you likable at work. These are not your family. These are not the people that God has called you to minister to in your house, because it started there. Come on. Come on. There's somebody out there that went to church growing up.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
So you're not likable to the person that you're committed to, that you're in a marriage to, that y'all trying to go through life with, and you're not likable. But when I go to your job, we have a work function and I go, everybody tell me how awesome my partner is. Come on now, I know somebody know what I'm talking about.
I do, Mrs. Moore, and I just have to jump in real quick on this because I've seen this in action. I've seen people that are likable in certain situations and then go home and be really nasty and rude to the people in their house. And I think that it's important to recognize that sometimes when we are broken, we take out what is broken in us on those that are closest to us. And I know that you are speaking to someone. I know that you are coming down their street, knocking on the door. I know you have spun the block and blew the horn for them. If you are understanding what Mrs. Moore is talking about, if this is you, this is your relationship, this is your spouse, this is your sister, this is your brother, this is your neighbor, and you know that there is something that they are missing in their life, you owe it to them to provide them with Atlanta Couple Therapy information. It's our website, and our phone number is going to be dropped in the chats on the live and in the Zoom, because you're hitting so many nails on the head, because you're painting a picture of a lot of people's lives. So I love it. And yeah, if you're feeling likable in certain areas and not likable in another area, you may need a coaching. And Miss Moore is very well equipped with the wisdom. She is coming down your street. She's knocking on your door, and she's about to spin the block one more time for you. And you've been asking and praying for help, and here it is. Bravo, Mrs. Moore. Keep going. We are loving this.
In addition to that, as we transition in 2025, let's understand this. It's important that if you need help, get the help. And oftentimes, folks think they have choices that they don't have. Historically, when I was going through a whole lot in my first relationship, during that era, it was uncommon for people of color to reach out for a life coach. These resources are available. And why would you spend 30 years walking in the desert when you got the resources here in Atlanta Couple Therapy that can not only strengthen your relationship, we have information to help you build your financial wealth. Come on, tell your friend, tell your partner, anybody you love, you need to get them in Atlanta Couple Therapy so that your friends, your family do not have to walk in the desert for 20, 30 years. All we do is win.
Yes. And one of the things that I have to say, and I have to take the time to mention the person that has this vision in helping people is Dr. Lewis. One of the things that very few people realize about Dr. Lewis and what her strength is, Dr. Lewis, okay, she, first of all, and I'm just going to share this, okay, and I apologize later, but Dr. Lewis started out, okay, she went to an elementary school. Initially, she went to an A school, okay, and there were some situations that occurred, and she ended up going to an F school, not NL, but an F school, okay, in elementary school, okay, and this is a person that started out in an F school, went to Florida State, okay, so we know what that brings to the table. But not only did she go to Florida State, okay, she also went to Fordham. A lot of people don't realize that. She went to Fordham, okay? So here you are at Florida State, went to Fordham, and became not just a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, okay, from Howard. And so she brings so much support to us at Atlanta Couple Therapy. Not only that, she took the most difficult psychology classes. Now, I have a master's in psychology, but I'm going to tell you, I ran from some of them classes. The statistics classes, she ran into these classes. So she has the resources to make sure that we are equipped to do what we need to do. That's important for you to know. Let me tell you what I bring to the table. I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. And guess what I'm willing to do? Share those mistakes with you and tell you, honey, ain't nothing you can say that's going to alarm me because I done lived a long life. because I've lived a long life, I have blew it. And what we want to do is teach you how to win the battle and the war. My mouth, I won some battle, but I lost the war. We can share with you, okay, how to win the war. Because if you win the war, then your children win. It's impossible.
Reach.
And the reason we know this is because the clients that we have, their parents lost the war. Therefore, they lost them. And now we're seeing them. And guess what they're doing? They're repeating what they saw in their lives. Let me say this again. It is impossible to lose the war, okay, and think your children are gonna be okay. And so we're able to tell you, you can have, because I am currently now living my best life. But it's because I was willing to change. Change starts with you. Don't lie to yourself. You, like most people, and I was one of them, if you could just change my partner. No, change starts with me. It starts with me. It starts with me taking a look at myself, allowing God to look at me and give me the information I need to change. Because the Bible is real clear. It says only a fool counsel themselves. Let me say that again. Only a fool counsel themselves. The Bible say that. That's not just Brenda. So I'm saying to you, seek help. If you want, and you know you're not happy, forget about joyful. You know you're not happy. You know you're still angry about something that happened 2 years ago. You know you continuously going over that argument. Okay? You know you haven't forgiven your partner. You know you resent his children, your children, everybody's children. You know you got 10 balls in the air. You need to see one of us. Because I guarantee you, you will see change. If you make a conscious decision, and me, have made a conscious decision that in 2025, I will not be the same Brenda I was in 2024. It's not going to happen. I press the reset. If I have to press the same reset button every day, I'm doing it. Because it's impossible for me to get better if the change doesn't start with me. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Lewis, Ms. Jones.
This was so good. Oh my gosh. Definitely, guys, if you can put your takeaways in the comments, if it's one thing that you say, okay, what I'm taking away from this time is X, what would that thing be that you are taking away from this session? You can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat. I think it's something so powerful about declaring a thing. Like when you said, this year is going to be different. I'm going to be different in this year. I'm going to be experiencing some new and different things this year. I think it's power in saying that. And so I want you guys to make some declarations moving forward. What is today? January 9th at 7:40 p.m. I have decided I'm going to manage my temper. I've decided that I'm going to be more gentle with my spouse. I have decided that I'm going to show up more powerfully in this commitment. What have you decided about how things are going to go for you moving forward? I want to open it up to our coaches. Anybody else want to share their thoughts before we close? And we're going to open it up for questions as well, guys. We're getting ready to open it up for questions. Ms. Jones?
Yes. I am not going to juggle 10 balls in 2025. I am going to perfect juggling the 2 or 3 balls that I can manage, and then I will go back to adding. But I'm dropping some balls, and I'm going to be okay about them being left there.
I love it. I think about women who are just recently had a baby, and a lot of times it's so necessary to just take time after the gestation process. Like, it's crucial. But sometimes as Black women, we take on all the balls. I got that, I could do this and that too, and don't really take time to rest. So I love what you said.
I'm going to jump in. My commitment to myself, my family, my relationship, I made a decision that I am definitely taking my judgmental spirit and focus on being the best Ron I can possibly be. I have, as I watched the Carter funeral, what came to me is the importance of giving deposits to the people that you love, the people that's in your family, the people in your neighborhood. That man lived from I think it was 20, he lived 100 years, put it
Yeah,
that way.
he was 100 years old.
He was 100 years old. His land was expanded as a result of him giving deposits. He didn't have to worry about how old I'm gonna get. He only focused on taking care of the people he loved. So guess what God did? Blessed everything he touched. That's
Yes.
my commitment in 2025. Bless my work, Lord, because I made a decision that I'm gonna bless your people.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Wow.
There's so
Some-
much wisdom on this team. And I'm telling you, if you feel like you're going in the wrong direction, okay, we can help you, because we probably done went down that same road, and we can tell you where it ends. And we're willing to tell you. We're willing to tell you, if you keep doing this, you have the right to do it, but I have a responsibility to tell you where that road's going to take you. Okay, we have experience. First of all, we have degrees in this team. We have experience. We have all the things that you will need. And we have an ear to hear from God. Okay? And we just want you not to have to pay the price we have paid for getting it wrong. When you get it wrong, you have to pay. And we willing to say, no. I done paid that price. Let me tell you. Let me show you how I can help you. We are here to give you strategies to take charge of your life. If you know that you know that you know that you are with someone and you're not going anywhere, at least learn how to live with them and be happy. We are not just going to survive. We're going to thrive. We're going to grow. Many of you have made a commitment and you feel like you done did what it takes because you done made the commitment. No, the commitment doesn't stop with just deciding we're going to stay together. There's joy in a relationship. One of the things, and I'm going to close, I have to say this, but one of the things I liked most about watching and hearing the eulogies is that Rose and Jimmy, they remained Rose and Jimmy. And they work together. Ask yourself, do you have the same goals as your partner? They work together, and therefore they were able to achieve great success. He achieved more success when he left the White House, people. So if you have failed in some area, you are just struggling. You just broke up with the man you thought you were going to marry. You just, whatever's going on in your life, you get to press restart, and we can help you. Your latter days can be better than your former days, but you can't do the same thing and think you're going to get the same. You're not. You're going to get the same results. And the change starts with you. I'm going to be quiet. I get excited about this, people.
All right. So, Miss Lily, do you have any parting remarks?
I do. So I'll talk a little bit about what I took from this webinar. The main thing that was great. I don't know about y'all, but I got some big goals for my life, for my personal life, for my future, for my, like, I just have big goals. And one thing that you said, Ms. Moore, that just really hit me was, are your decisions in alignment with the goals that you want? So now for me, 2025, I'm opening up the door to say, this decision that I made at this point, at this point, at this point, is it going to get me closer to my goals? So this was phenomenal. I appreciate every moment of it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So I want to open it up for questions. What questions do you guys have? What question? Hey, Camilla, how are you? How's it going?
I'm doing good.
So I want to just check in with you. How are you doing? What did you think of the webinar? Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so. Everything was self-explanatory.
How was it for you being on tonight?
Good. Some good points.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Say what? Oh, my husband's talking. What did you say?
Okay, I was just saying thank you so much for joining. And if any questions come up, let us know, okay?
She said
Okay.
comment.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband made a comment, she said.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? Anyone else? What else we got on? Tashar, you got any questions? Renee, you got any questions?
What was her husband's comment? Because we wanted to hear it.
Say it again, what you said, because they wanted to hear what you had to say.
I was saying that I think that everything that was discussed in this conversation was mean. Get on point, and I like it. It seems like a faith-based kind of a thing, and I want to continue to keep listening and keep it coming back.
What I didn't quite hear everything.
Camilla. Yeah, he said it was good and it was like faith-based, and he wants to come back. So he liked the faith-based conversation, the nuggets that you were giving out. You was quoting scriptures and stuff. And he was talking about the Bible. So he's interested in that.
And I'm incarcerated.
Yeah.
That's great. That's one of the things about like what we stand on at Atlanta Couple Therapy is we stand on faith. Faith is the foundational thing. And I feel like when we have a strong sense of faith, we're able to get through challenges much more easier. And so that's one of the things that you really get with all of our team is a strong sense of faith, and definitely with Ms. Moore as well. So all right, well, we're going to go ahead and close it out, y'all. Will y'all be blessed? Y'all have an amazing rest of the evening. And thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, and one thing that we are doing is if anyone would like a complimentary consultation with Ms. Moore, go ahead and put your phone number in the chat if you'd like a complimentary consultation. We're doing 15-minute consultations after our webinar tonight. All right. Well, y'all have a blessed rest of the night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our contact information is right there. You can see our website at Atlanta Couple Therapy. You can book an appointment directly on the website. Our next webinar is all about blended families. So, Mr. Sen, go ahead and give people a little snapshot of what they can expect from the next webinar.
Well, actually, I just wanted to acknowledge Ms. Moore for an awesome job. As we embark on 2025, I want families to be elevated to a level that they never, ever had an opportunity to even see. One of the things that I want to do is, since I know a lot of families, a lot of couples have, in a lot of cases, came from dysfunctional families. So as a result of that, they were told to draw a butterfly. and they never seen a butterfly. So what I want to do in the Blended Family webinar on next week is paint that picture of the butterfly so that families can be elevated to a level that they never even imagined. So please stay tuned. Additional information will be out there in the coming days, in the coming weeks, and we going from there.
And what I say is people stay safe. Those roads are going to be treacherous in the morning. And so please be very, very careful. And if maybe you are already seeing a coach or a counselor or a therapist, but if there's somebody out there that you think that can relate to my philosophy on moving people through a successful life, through giving them strategies, then please call Atlanta Couple Therapy. The number is in the chat, and book up, tell them to book, because you know what you're going to get from me. Because I want you to understand, I have a master's degree in psychology, but the Bible is the best psychology book I've ever read. It tells you how to live a productive, successful life that makes sense.
Preach. Amen.
Yes. Yes. That's one of the things I talk about with my clients is the Bible, because it really is wisdom in there. When we think about like the scripture that says, as a man thinketh a woman in her heart, so is she, or so is he. It speaks to the power of our thoughts and how we define ourselves, what we say about ourselves. So I think we have to be so mindful of our thoughts. All right. Well, this was good. This was good. Gosh, this was so good. All right. Well, y'all have a good rest of the night.
Thank you.
Good night, guys. Be safe on the road.
FP, I see you came in a little late. Did you have any questions?
No questions at all. It seems like a great group. Looking forward to the next meeting. I appreciate the invite.
Okay, we have the webinar. Our next webinar registration is in the chat. Diana, if you could put that in again and just send it to FP. I don't know your name, and just see FP there.
It's Fitzgerald.
Gerald, okay. Hey, Gerald.
All right. Nice to meet you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.